All right, Brian Wright, Rambo,
Yeah, so
the Hive podcast, the Rambo cast, the one we've been waiting for. I don't know if I've had more interest in one as of recent time than this. I was like, damn, I want to hear what this guy has to say. So what's up, Ben? I feel like things were done recently.
Yeah, I just won WK Nationals. I went 4-0 with 3 knockouts.
I think that's a good weekend.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
That's a pretty good weekend. How long have you been training with us now?
2 years.
That's crazy.
Maybe 2.5-ish. I don't know.
I think it's 2.5 because, it's about 2.5 because we were training a second before you fought WKs last year. It wasn't
yeah,
like right
I
away.
wasn't as consistent in the beginning, and then something clicked, and then
Yeah. So we'll backtrack. Let's go through WKs a little bit. 4 fights, 2 days. How hard is that for people to understand that fighting and then getting up the next day and having to fight again?
Yeah, that shit sucks. So the first guy, the first guy I fought, I came out there, like we were both fresh, and then I just threw a bunch of fucking leg kicks, and then eventually I knocked him out with like a 2-3 or 3-2, and then just that finished. And then another fight that day, and that guy had a bye, so I was coming off being kind of sore from the first fight, and then I had to fight this guy when he was totally fresh, and he was actually kind of good. So on that fight, I just listened to you, and that shit worked out perfectly. I just played the game, kept disrupting the rhythm,
But like the hard factor is that multiple fights in 1 day is rough.
Yeah.
But then multiple fights over 2 days.
Oh yeah, I
rough.
didn't get to that yet. But when I went to sleep after the first day, my shin was like twice the size of my other leg. So I literally went to 7-Eleven. I bought like those big ass things of ice. I bought like 6 of them. So first thing I did, we were hanging out at the Airbnb. We were watching some anime. And then I sandwiched the ice, and I was just hanging out there with it elevated for a while. And then I did that for a couple hours, and then I went to sleep. I wrapped it up in an ace bandage, and I slept with the ice sandwich again, like on the front and the back. Like my calf was swelling up. I was getting like compartment syndrome, and then my shin was swelled up. My foot was like the size of a balloon. And then I was like, all right, I gotta do this. I just gotta get this done. And then I went to sleep. I'm like, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to fight. But I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna do it. I woke up in the next morning, I couldn't fucking walk. Like I was hobbling.
The worst.
I was hobbling around. I was hobbling around for a while. I was icing it all the way up. My first fight on the second day was at like 12-ish. And then, so I was icing up until like 11. And then like, I really couldn't walk until 11 o'clock. And then I just started moving around like, oh, I can kind of bounce a little bit. I'll just kick less. Mm-hmm. And then the guy was fucking tall. So I couldn't get my rhythm going in the first round. So I was like, all right, let me use my kicks, find my distance. Let me just do what I do. And I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna just keep throwing. And then I was able to find that and knocked him out too. And then third one, I was the fourth fight, I was just like,
let it go.
Fuck it, it's go time.
Let it go.
I'm just like, I don't give a fuck. And then that was the nicest knockout of all.
That was nice. But these kind of events, a one-off fight is hard enough. Yeah. Anybody that's ever fought, usually it's a one fight. Not too many people do kickboxing tournaments. And then they wake up the next day and they know how they feel. Having to like fight, recover, fight, go to bed, get up, go. It's brutal. It's just a marathon of pain.
It was a mental battle where I was just like, I'm never gonna quit. Like, I'm not gonna quit on the discipline. I'm not gonna quit on solving the problem. I'm not gonna quit on the stance. I'm not gonna quit if it hurts. I'm just gonna keep going, keep doing the job no matter what. And I just kept telling myself, if it breaks, it breaks. Whatever happens, happens. And then I just totally let go of everything. And I just had to keep going and going and going. And I was like, after the fourth fight, I was like, damn, it's over already? I want to fight again. I'm like...
Well, you get in that zone where now you're on a roll. Like, it's just like, you're going.
I haven't even sparred this week because I'm still in that... I'm still in that mental where it's like, I'm just like, I don't give a fuck. I might hurt somebody.
Well, when you break through, you can spar all you want. You can do smokers here and there. You can have one fight, whatever. But when you train for a big block of time to do an event like that, and then you get through the event, definitely there's something breaks within you. It's like a shift. It's like a waterfall.
I found like this weird new gear where it's like nothing matters and it's just only the present moment matters. And it was like,
anybody who's been in tournament type events, it's really funny because the fans, they judge people by events. I'll never forget, it was Mirko Krokop versus Josh Barnett, Pride Grand Prix final. And people were kind of shitting on Josh Barnett because he had a bad showing against Mirko Krokop. He had a broken eye socket and his hands were swollen and his feet were racked. They both fought. That was their third fight on the night. Krokop knocked 2 guys out quickly and then Barnett comes out. And you look at that fight and an individual fight, Barnett doesn't look that great, you know?
Yeah.
And people are like, oh, he quit. I'm like, it was his third fight in one day. And he was more of a grappler banger. So he had 3 wars. Krokop was like high kick, takedown, punch him in the face. You can't judge a fighter the same in a tournament as you do on an individual. Because if we take each one of your fights, there's damage involved. Yeah. First fight of the day, fine. But the other side of it is you don't know who you're fighting. When you fight in one fight, you know, so say we signed you up for gut check, you have 6 weeks, you know who the dude is. You're going to go find his Instagram. You're going to find his YouTube. You're going to find out if you know anybody who knows him. Yeah. You're going to find everything out, and you're going to train specifically for that guy. WK is a dark room. I
loved it, dude.
But it's a dark room, and it's stressful. But if you can figure out how to give yourself the freedom to execute, and you can trust your ability to judge it as it's coming, you can get through it. But the pain factor is wild because it gets more and more painful every round, and it's nonstop, and you know it's not going away, but you also don't want to lose. I was talking about this the other day. The worst position in that event is the guy who loses in the finals of a big bracket. Your guy had the same amount of fights as you did, and you knocked him out. And he's not thinking about the 3 fights he won. He's thinking about the one he lost.
That's what I was thinking when I was going into that. I was like, all right, I'm fucking up all these kids. I really am tired of this shit, but like, but I want to just stay here. And then like, there's no fucking way I'm taking silver because I remember at fucking Waco, like the long time ago when I lost my second fight, I got a bronze medal in a 3-man bracket and I felt this fucking participation trophy. I was like,
it's the worst feeling in the world.
Bullshit thing ever. That shit's like buried in like the bottom of my drawer right now.
Yeah,
but
I mean, I took a silver medal at the World Championships in '96. I fought 3 times a day for 3 days. I lost in the finals, and I kind of got screwed in the finals. I'm not just being salty; it was legitimately. It was an international event, and their bylaws stated you couldn't have more than 2 people from one country. The last Australian in the entire event was my opponent. They moved all the international judges out, and it was only Australian. The center judge and all the corner judges were all Australians. So I was like, okay, if I don't knock this guy out. I mean, I broke his jaw, and they said I punched him in the throat. Like, they kept anything they could do, they did. And but I remember I walked out. I'm like, I just fought 9 times. I'm crippled at this point. I probably have brain damage I haven't recovered from it to this day. And I remember I had that silver medal, and it was like a scarlet letter. I was like, you loser. Everyone knows you lost. I didn't think about the 8 wins and the 6 knockouts. I just thought about losing a decision in the final. And if it wasn't for one of my friends, I'm in Australia on a payphone at like 3 a.m, and because the time difference, I called my buddy up and that trained with me. I was like, hey man, and he's like, what happened? I was like, yeah, it didn't really go well. He's like, oh, that's all right. You know, he's like, how far did you get? And I was like, oh man, I got silver. And he was like, whoa, what? And I was like, yeah, I got silver. And he's like, you just took silver at the World Championships, man. Like, you're only lost in the final? I was like, yeah, man, it really sucks. And he was like, wait a minute. And then he started like talking me through it. And then I kind of was like, all right, fine. I did a cool thing. But man, that second place is the worst in an event like that. It's the worst feeling. All the good work you did gets thrown out the window because of like one damn loss.
Nah, I get it. It's hard. You had all these badass stuff, but then the final thing, because that's what sticks with you. Because fucking Jalen at ISKA's murdered the first kid, then lost the decision, and then he was fucking pissed about that for a minute.
It's always, it's crazy how how hard we can be on ourselves like that. But we have to be as competitors.
Especially in this.
You have to be.
You have to. Even I was reviewing the footage, and then like there was little moments where I went sloppy, and I'm just fucking yelling at myself, even though I knocked out the guy. But I was like, oh, your balance wasn't perfect there. Your stance, you broke stance here, and like.
But you're never going to be a good competitor if all you do is look at your highlight reel.
Yeah.
Like if you look at all the good stuff and that's all you look at, you're never going to get any better. Your head's going to get too big, and you're not going to be able to win the next one. So you got to always. You don't want to punish yourself for the couple things you did wrong. You just got to fix them.
That's what happened. After I won at ISKAs, my head got fucking big as shit. And then I just kind of like partied for like a month straight. and then I took the MMA fight on like 1 day notice, but I wasn't prepared at all. And so that's where I really had to, I'm like all over the place.
Let's clarify what that was. We had a guy that took a fight that is a notorious weight misser. Mm-hmm. So we were like, okay, maybe you're going to have to do this, but it wasn't real. And then we're like, oh, it looks like he's going to make weight. And then of course he misses weight, and it's like 7 o'clock in the morning, and you got a call. And the night before we were like, don't worry about it.
Nah,
you go home.
Dude, my dad was here, my brother was here, like my whole family came, like was like together, and then we ordered sushi. I ate so much food.
Yeah, no, because we said he's
I was
gonna make
following
it.
his Instagram. I'm like, oh, he's so close to being on weight, and then I'm like, all right, I'm good.
Then he did what he does, and he missed weight. Yeah. And then I was like, bro, you want to fight? And yeah, we kind of talked it out. We're like, fuck it, let's go for it.
Fuck it, let's ball.
I gotta give props to the other guy too. He accepted that fight. Yeah. And we couldn't make the actual weight, but I mean, who's gonna make that weight when you have no training camp, you have no nutrition, you're not high, you never water loaded. We literally just got in the sauna.
And I just kept sitting there.
And we just put you in the sauna until you got as close as possible. The guy accepted it. And you also got rhabdo, and we didn't know it. So you got rhabdo from an extreme cut. Made it as low as you could, and then you went out and you beat the crap out of that dude in the first round. Like, you smashed him for a round, and then the second round, your body and
my body got so fucking tired. My body was. I still think so. Even though my body was failing, in my brain, I think I could have overpowered mentally with a proper training camp, even with the failing body. But you
never trained MMA before. The first time you ever did MMA was like that week.
Yeah, I know.
Like you have good jiu-jitsu, you have good kickboxing, you have no wrestling, and it was like, let's just do it. And you had a kid that literally was training an entire camp to go and do this fight, and then you took it on, whatever. You whooped his ass for a round, and then he caught you. Yeah. But the thing you got to realize too with the weight cuts is if you have a bad weight cut, your chin's gone.
Dude, it was
gone.
Everything was gone. Like I like to. So when I'm like in the rehydration, I like to like kind of like gauge as like my body's going, and it usually hits a certain point where like, oh wait, I'll be good tomorrow. But then that point never hit.
You're like on empty no matter what you do.
Like it was like when you do it right, it's like you fill up, you get like weird and shapely, but then when you're weird and shapely, like you feel like shit, but then when you go to sleep, everything just sorts itself out. This one, it just felt like I was pouring gas in like a container with a hole in the bottom, and it just was fucking shit. And like I tried moving around and jumping. I tried shadow box. I was like, damn, I was shadow boxing. I was fucking gassed. Yeah. I was like,
no, your chemicals were out of whack. Your kidneys were not doing well. I didn't realize that you had a kidney issue at that point because you were just like, I'm just going to do this. Yeah. So we did what we did. But I mean, you were really hard on yourself off that one, and you were like,
I kicked a fucking hole in my wall when I went home.
But again, it's so crazy though how these fights cause us to view things, like
dude, I learned so much because that put in perspective the value of the work and the value of actually just being humble in the process and keep trying to learn, because like I'm still a fucking amateur.
But the thing was on that one, and you wouldn't accept it you probably still don't because you're like this, but to come off the couch and fight MMA that you've never done before, that's a big thing. And I said to you, I was like, you literally, this is a freebie. Like, you can't judge your ability. The only thing you can do from this is say, okay, I'm a competitor and I got big balls. Like, that
I still don't accept that because I know there's always a path to victory. Yeah, but I just didn't find it.
But if you're trying to race in NASCAR with flat tires, you're going to come in last. you had flat tires. You had 2 flat tires in your kidneys, man. You were sick as shit for that. You had to take a lot of time off. I mean, you legitimately screwed your chemistry up to the point you couldn't recover. So there was, I mean, unless that kid crashed and burned himself, it was virtually impossible for you to go 3 rounds with him.
Yeah, I know.
But we didn't know that until we got into it. We tried. I say this all the time. You know, you fly close to the sun, eventually your wings are going to catch fire. Like, you can't.
But they didn't burn up too bad. I was able to regain.
But there was a minute where mentally you were shot. I mean, you were questioning everything because of a loss that you really didn't have as much control over as you thought you did. But then when you got back to work, it all started to make sense. And then the fire came back and then the redemption was there.
Yeah.
So that's the cool part about it. What I love about the tournament was you went in there 2-2 and now you walk out of it 6-2. You went into the ISK tournament.
I was 0-2.
You were 0-2. And then you walked out of it 2-2, and now you go to WKs, and now you're 6-2. Like, it's amazing how you can basically fix a record with an event like that.
Yeah.
And get the momentum. You have real numbers now. You're an open class fighter. You're not novice anymore. Now it's like, okay, we're rolling now, and that's the cool part about it. So WK is always fun for me because I love to see how everyone responds. We always get like one person a year that it's like they're on a vision quest, you know?
Yeah.
Like that was you this year. That was Jalen. Actually, you and Reed this year. It was Jalen and Odin last year. So many different circumstances for Jalen and Odin with all the emotions and stuff that were going into that event with Jay's passing. But then this year,
for me, my dog died a week before.
And then your dog died.
Which was fucking crazy. And that's like a whole nother story because she had all these like health conditions. Like she had a neurological autoimmune disorder where it was like muscle wasting all the time. So she was on all these medicines. So that's what really motivated me because she would still always push herself, like to come run on the beach with me, to come like every time I came home, she would climb up onto the couch and then climb up all the way to like basically give me a hug.
Yeah.
And when you think about it, she had like no muscle left in her body. When the doctors were telling me at the end, it was like, yeah, all the muscle is basically gone. She just has fat left.
Yeah.
And she would still push through no matter how much she was hurting. So between every fight, I'm like, Cora had it worse than me and she kept pushing. And she kept pushing and pushing and pushing.
The thing about dogs,
I just kept doing that.
The thing about a dog is it's such a simple system. They don't think deeply. They just have a very simple reward system.
Yeah.
And the emotional connection with it is always deep because they don't talk back. They don't cheat on you. They don't go to school. They don't grow up ever. They're always what they are. Yeah. So it's a simplistic system. And, you know, you can figure a lot of stuff out when you see like,
just if you keep it simple.
Keep it simple, you can stay happy all the time.
Why would you make all these complex ideas?
Well, you know why.
Because we're people, but
we also are scared to death, and we come up with all the complexities so that if we don't do well, we've created all these complexities to justify failure.
But you don't need that.
Of course you don't need that.
Let go.
But you don't need that in this conversation. But in the moment, with different experience, that person does need it.
Yeah.
But when you have different experience and you're addressing it, you can change it. And that's pretty much been the process here, what we've gone through.
Definitely.
You know, the optics, the weight of the optics, you know, letting that go and then just embracing the work gives you the ability. And the thing is, think about how hard it would have been to fight 4 fights if you cared about what the world was thinking of you.
That would have been terrible.
It's hard enough to fight another human being who wants to hurt you.
Like that's what thinking about my dog helped me because I'm like, I care way more about my dog than what anybody else thinks of me. And it gave me the freedom to execute.
Of course.
And
basically go out there in your underwear and like
go out there,
throw down with another guy.
Some people.
Yeah, but like go out and fight another human being and theirs and like people watching, who cares? But like literally risk getting knocked out again, risk, something breaking or not going well, but just you go for it and you trust the work and you do the job. And that's the beauty of fighting when it's done right.
Yeah.
When you focus just on that, when you turn yourself just into the guy that's going to get it done that day, then if you can replicate that in every other area, that's when we find success.
Yeah. But I noticed that, and it's like, because I was training very much with intention this entire camp and trying to implement new things and address any holes I had before, and I was able to execute on that, and
it changes everything.
It does, because you're like, oh shit, I did that in boxing class.
But think about it. What's so crazy though? Like, it took how long for me to break through with you?
Dude, it took like a year and a half.
You've been here 2.5 years. It probably took
a year and a half.
2.25 years.
Maybe, honestly, it probably wasn't until like my second loss where I really was like, all right, fuck this shit. I'm not going to lose. And so I'm going to listen. I'm going to learn. So I was scared so much about losing myself in the process, but then something flipped in my brain. It's like, I'm choosing to trust you, and therefore that's my choice, so that's still me.
Yes.
And I didn't recognize that because I was like, I don't know, growing up, everybody tries to tell you how to be one thing and be this, and you kind of just have to reject fucking everything.
But that's the thing I was talking about. I don't know if you're there. I think it was, I don't know, maybe Monday night I said, I don't know, whatever. But the hardest part about youth is you don't have experience. So you have all these ideas, and you validate the ideas based off of some math in your brain. But that math it's an abstract. It's not real yet because you don't have enough experience. That's why there's the phrase, youth is wasted on the young. Because when you're young and you have all these ideas, but you don't have experience, there's a lot of mistakes that are going to be made because you don't have the experience. So you have ideas that in your mind, you're like, this is a concrete reality. Like you feel like that song you like, you're going to like it forever. That girl you like is going to be with you forever. That book you read is the only book you ever have to read. Like you're good for the rest of your days. And then 30 years later, you're like, you look at that idiot and you look at the idiot you are now and the massive volume of experience in between and everything changes. So that's why the point for me with all this is that, yes, you have to maintain who you are, but you have to use the experience of the people that came before you that have done the things that you're looking to do to make sure that your path
you
is
just have to remember that
direct.
it's still you making the decision to trust, because I thought I had to do everything myself.
No.
And like I had to like reinvent the wheel. And
how do you think I feel? I can't do any of it. I can't do any of it.
What do you mean?
I can't do any of your work. You're the young man in the arena. I'm the one in the experience on the outside. You get the cathartic relief of smashing another human being, win, lose, or draw. I'm sitting there all pent up. I think coaches should have to fight afterwards so we can get through it. Like I sit there, I'm like ravaged from the stress and I never got to release it, Like, so I sit there and I'm like, I hope he listens today. Like, or I hope it's not even that. That was a shitty statement. I don't hope you listen. I hope you execute in the best version of yourself in that moment. The listening part is part of that. So it's like, I hope we as a team get it done today. That's where I'm always at. And then there are days that it's a machine, and then there are days where something breaks and you disconnect, and then you're in there by yourself, and no matter what I say, I can't get through. And that's when I turn to whoever's next to me and go, yeah, we're fucked today. Like, it's just, you can see it. You can see it. It just happens. I mean, other guys happened on the weekend where it was like started well, then you saw the shift, and it's like, okay, I can't control that.
Yeah.
Like, no matter what I do, this is what it is right now. And I just gotta I gotta live with that too. So it is what it is, but like I have to choose to work with you. You have to choose to work with me. I have to share my experience, and then I pray that you execute. And then, when you execute, hopefully it connects. And this is the process. That's the coach and athlete and coach. That's the experience. In Japanese, they call it senpai kohai. Senpai is senior, kohai is junior. And it's a mutual responsibility relationship. In America, we screw it up a lot where they say, senpai, you're the senior, so you're like the dominant, you're like the alpha, and the kohai is the beta. It's bullshit. It's really not that at all. A really good senior understands the position the junior's in. The junior understands the pressure that the senior's in, and the two of them come together to create the best solution possible. So the senior takes care of the junior tries as hard as they can. As long as we maintain that balance, we're always good. That's why I don't care We lose a lot. Everybody does. When you have a team, you have a big room of guys. Not everybody's going to be hammers. You're going to have guys that struggle. I don't care about the losses if I'm seeing progress in the loss. You've heard me say it 1,000 times. Sometimes you got to lose 2 or 3 to never lose again. I mean, you lost 2 to win 8.
6.
6.
Yeah.
You're 6-2. My
6
bad.
and 2.
Yeah, you're 6-2. But you had to lose 2 to win 6.
It'll be 8 soon.
But it's a process, and you're an amateur. When I say it doesn't matter when you're an amateur, I only say that from a grand perspective of like if you go pro one day, your amateur record is now off in the wind. But if you're only going to be an amateur, that's always going to matter. Every fight does matter. Every win and loss does have weight. But you've got to win and lose in a way that makes you better for the next battle. That's always the goal. And that's why if that's happening, I'm fine with whatever the outcomes are. But if you're going backwards because of the win or the loss, that's when I'm like, uh-oh, we got a problem. And that's hard. That's hard to fix. But I mean, you've seen it. You've been here now for a minute and you've seen the ups and downs. How many people do you see, we've seen potential in an opportunity and then they get in their own way and then
happens all the time.
All the time.
Like all the time.
It's amazing to me how amateurs can become so full of themselves off of 1 or 2 shitty wins that they start to feel like we were talking about, like the control factor, where they're like they don't need anyone anymore. But that's the time you need it most.
Exactly.
So you got to be tempered.
You need like the coaches, like the guardrails, and it's like keeping you from like fucking going fucking wild. Because like
if it's a good coach, because there's a lot of coaches that don't have guardrails that actually pull the guardrails off and they lean into the craziness to get them addicted to the system. And then that's where you get the dirt, and that's where it gets ugly, because a lot of coaches are afraid guys are going to leave. So they do take the guardrails off and they do allow them to go deep, and they take pictures of it and they monitor it and they hold it against you when you do want to go. And they say, no one else is going to put up with you, only me, and that's where it gets, or I'm going to let people know, so don't go, like that kind of crap. And I'm like, yo, we got to live by the work.
That's what we do here. And that's why we love it, because like the best thing you can do is like, if you're honest with yourself, honest with the work, and honest with the people around you, shit just works out, because you got nothing to hide. There's nothing like chaining you down. You don't have to worry what other people think, because you just leave it all out there. And if you have nothing to hide, you just have the freedom to execute and do what you do. That's
the trust factor. When you trust the people and you trust the process. And I mean, I said to you on the last day, going into the last fight, I said, we got 3 done. We got 1 more. And you were like, I won it already. I'm like, okay, he's good. He's good. That's that trust factor. At that point, you're unstoppable no matter what. You know how you feel, but you also know you're still going to get it done. And that's if you embrace it all and you trust it all, that's the position it puts you in. The guys that are filled with doubt are the ones that are talking too much and working too little, or they're talking above the work. Like there are a lot of guys that work really hard, but they talk about things that it just doesn't balance. Yeah. And that's the hard part.
That was kind of big for me. Once I started just shoving the fuck up and working more, like it really just was able to skyrocket my growth, because the more you talk, the less you work, the less you focus. So when you're talking, you can't do shit.
When we started, however long ago, your ego is pretty big.
My ego is huge.
Your ego is still pretty big, but like it's more of like you have a healthier relationship with it. I mean, you have a very strong opinion of yourself, which is fine. But I mean, what the hell? Why not? But like seriously, what are we supposed to hate on ourselves? I get it. I 100% get it, and it works for you now, where it was against you before. It was stopping your progress. When we first started, you battled me literally on everything. You would muscle a little guy, and I would call you out on. You'd be like, yeah, but I can, so I am. Like you didn't care. Like if you could smash it, you smashed it. If you could throw it, you'd throw it. If you could sweep it, you swept it like into the parking lot. Like you were just a blunt instrument, and you were combative, because for me, I saw you protecting a definition of yourself, and you didn't want to go through that phase where you had to suck. Like that was so hard for you. You didn't want to be bad.
I didn't want to be bad, but I joined the gym to be bad and learn.
But you were still fighting your choice.
I was fighting my choice, but I knew that was a choice I had to do. But I had like this internal battle where it's like,
well, it was more than internal because
it was external.
Basically every single person standing in front of you had to deal with it. So it was rough, but over time, because you didn't stop and you didn't let the voices break you. I also think having the guys like Jalen, like you've been there through Jalen. I mean, Jalen's at 14 fights now.
Yeah.
9 wins, 8 knockouts. Like you saw him from 1 to 14 and to see the evolution, it does give you, it pulls the curtain back and like, oh, like this will work.
Yeah.
Like you've seen the people that have worked and you've seen the people that have not worked as well. You've seen the pitfalls. You've seen the athletic gifted that are mentally weak. You've seen the talk that doesn't line up. You've seen, the posers versus the ones that are gonna best the word I can think of in the moment is warrior it through. But like there's a warrior culture to competition.
Definitely.
That's not hype at all.
Yeah.
It's the antithesis of hype. And if you're worried about the optics, if you're worried about all that stuff, you're gonna get lost. And that was what I saw with you. The biggest moment for me, the biggest shift was you were selfish up until a point. There was one day where you proactively went and helped someone that I was like, who is this guy? Like I was shocked. I was like,
do you remember
what? It was right after ISKs. Right after ISKs, you helped somebody and then you kept helping somebody and then you started to yell at people to work harder. And then you said, come on, put your hands up. Come on, move this, move that. And then you would hit somebody, be like, bro, I didn't want to hurt you like that, but you got to do this. Where before you'd be like, oh, it worked. And then you would just keep doing it until they fell down and be like, what? So you started to interact and then you started to elevate the people around you. And then you started to ask, people don't understand with teaching. You have to know what you're teaching. And if you don't, you figure it out because you can't communicate it or it doesn't work. And now you've taken a responsibility of helping someone. So now it's like, wait a minute, this has to work because I showed it to him and I need it to work. So then you figure it out more.
Yeah.
So now it becomes like by handing it down, you're refining your understanding of it. So the more giving you are, the more you get back out of it. So now, okay, people are getting better. You're learning it, you're communicating it, which means you're now understanding it. People are understanding it. So now you're getting challenged better because guys are getting better. It's not just you. And then all of a sudden, instead of 1 or 2 partners, now you got 4 or 5.
Yeah.
And now everything starts to move. When the system works, that's it right there. That's why I hate it when I get the arrogant person I got to work with the new guy. Okay, you're intellectually lazy at this point. You don't want to test your knowledge. You don't want to waste your time. Get the fuck out of here, man.
Okay, I'm gonna be honest. Sometimes that's me because it depends on the mindset of the new person. If they're trying to learn, I'm so cool with it. But if they're like really dense and they're not trying to learn, they're just trying to get a sweat, it's so frustrating.
So
because I'm like, do the technique.
But anybody who knows me long enough knows there are certain people that I literally just ignore because they're the ones that I know they're not even worth the time. Mm-hmm. So I'm not saying you have to help every new guy. I'm not saying be judgy either.
No, I'm not judging.
You got to give someone a chance.
Yeah.
And then you got to recognize how they deal with that chance. There are some people that are just not ready to learn. And you just, okay, maybe one day it'll come. I've tried here. You're not listening. Okay, there are people that actually want this knowledge. So I'm not going to waste my time yet. Like, I'm going to let you be. Mm-hmm. I'll come back when you're ready. And then I move on to the next. So yes, there will always be a group of people that are just not ready for what we're doing, which always blows my mind. I'm like, why would you come to someone else's gym, pay them money with the intention of learning what they do, and then never listen to anything that's told to you?
Well, I did that.
Of course you did, because you're Rambo. But you came because you were aspiring to.
Yeah.
And then you didn't understand what that meant. And then you were stuck. And then you got unstuck. And now you got a gold medal.
Well, I got 3 actually.
Okay. The ego's still there. The ego's still there.
When I went to Thailand, and I saw the different coaching styles, and it made me understand everything that you were saying, because it made me, seeing the different versions made me understand the relationship between coach and athlete and the job that has to be done and the relationship that's there, because I'm like, wait, we both just want to win.
Yeah.
And let's just talk and let's communicate and let's agree on the path and let's trust each other and work.
All right. So going to Thailand, why did you get clarity there versus getting clarity here?
So when I went to Thailand because I just needed to just fucking go.
But what was the difference in understanding it there versus, so you train with me here and you're not like getting it. Then you go there and you see them and the way they're doing it and you understood why I'm doing it more. What's the difference there? What's the different experience there? Is it the culture? Is it not having to worry about anything else except that and being able to look at it more deeply? I don't know. What was it different?
It was a little bit of everything. So there wasn't the language. Like, so when you communicate with somebody speaking the same language, sometimes there's misunderstandings because you think you know what you're saying to each other, but you don't.
Well, you stop listening.
Yeah. Like there's like it's like weird. Yes. But when I had to really focus on understanding when they didn't speak fucking English.
Of course, it's 100% intention-based communication.
Yeah.
It's like a non-verbal.
They don't even say punch. They don't say two. They're like pun.
And then they
kick,
move their hand and they say, do that.
pun, kick, elbow, knee.
Yeah.
And I'm like, all right, yeah. And then I was like understanding. I was like, oh, if I apply this level of listening and this level of attention to understanding here and ignore the typical social rules that like we grew up in, then I can actually abandon everything and have the freedom to actually learn and improve.
So it's like being deaf and your eyesight getting better.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
And then there was also my life before was like kind of crazy. Before I left the Thailand, I had like a girlfriend I was dating for like 3 years, and that was like it's kind of a toxic-ish relationship. And I just had to like go. And like when I was able to like let go of that, I was able to really just focus on who I am and try and figure out who that is, and then try and capitalize on my strengths and try and build on that and try and figure out where there's weaknesses in character and technique and just keep working and getting better from there and just trying to be like the person I want to be.
And then it was the craziest thing ever is Jay passes and then you come back.
Yeah.
And then it's like,
that was fucking
now
great.
It was beyond like simplicity. So now you simplify, you pay more attention, everything's good.
It was like,
now it's
back
life and death.
it's crazy.
You only came back because of that. I don't know if you ever went back.
I don't know if I would have either. Like, so one of my other dogs died there like a couple weeks before. And then I remember somebody called me and they're like, yo, Jay died. I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
I'm like, it was crazy.
It was crazy. Then someone came in and was like, yo, Rambo's trying to find a flight back. And I thought you were lost in the mountains, my man. I was like,
I was a little.
I wasn't even like thinking that was even a possibility. And I was like, oh. So I will be honest that response to that situation made me want to trust you more, because that was such a human response that I respected. So that was really important for me, the way you did that. That changed the way I looked at you. And then you changed too because of your experience. So we definitely came back in, it was a different start at that point.
It was like a totally new.
It was like a clean slate.
I was like basically a new person than who I was before.
Newborn baby Rambo.
What?
Newborn baby Rambo.
Yeah, basically. It was like, dude, I needed those 3 months just to clear my fucking brain and it's kind of weird. It's like, when you're traveling by yourself, it's kind of similar to stepping in the ring, because like you're just there by yourself and you have to figure out everything yourself.
Yeah.
And it was fucking crazy. There's a couple times I almost died. I almost died choking on sticky rice. Like I was on the side of the road, really hungry. It got stuck in my throat. I was like, and then like my vision was slowly getting black, and then I was like, shit. And I'm trying to make myself throw up, and I was thinking all the Thais probably thought, yeah, oh look, there's this fucking white guy.
Probably having a drug overdose.
That's what I thought. I was drugged out. And I'm like, damn, I'm gonna die, and nobody's gonna know what fucking happened.
Oh my God.
There's another time I fucking crashed my motorcycle when I was like driving on the mountain roads, and then there was like a big ass truck coming down, and I was like, whoa, thank God he stepped on the brakes or I would have got fucking smashed. I called my mom after that. I was like, yo, Mom, I almost died. Just letting you know. All right, bye. I'll be back in a couple months.
I think that at this point in life for you to be able to have experience like that's really valuable. So for me, it was like I traveled a lot when I was young with my family, which is one thing. You live at home, you travel, go to college, still kind of connected. It's like all this protective bubble shit. But then when you get out and you see this big ass world beyond our borders, and you know, I love America. I think it's the greatest country in the world. We can say whatever we want about the difference in how people live. Everywhere I go in the world, everybody wants to come here, no matter where I go.
Yeah.
They all want to come here. And it's because America represents opportunity that doesn't exist elsewhere. The flip side of that for us, though, is opportunity creates pressure. So like we always are stuck in this race of like more. We got to do more. And then we go to other cultures that you can't do more. You can only do this. And we're like, wow, that would be great. And they're looking at us like, but I want to be like you. I want to have the opportunity. I want to kill myself trying. Yeah. And we're like, I'm done trying to kill myself. Can I just like eat rice in a field with you right now and like chill?
So that's like my internal. My internal is very just like chill the fuck out. Like I was at WKA's. I was while Jalen was getting like angry. He gets angry when he hypes up. Yeah. I get the total opposite. I was walking around listening to like girly music and just going around petting every dog I saw and just talking to moms and stuff. I'm like,
yeah, but again, like
dancing around.
But like you got to find what works. But I even said on that day, I said to Spencer, I was like, bro, you got to be the front man of a rock band, because like putting on a show is more important to you than anything. Like you got to be that guy. Jalen's like, he's just on a trip to be the best professional he can be. You're like in this groove where you're like just spinning in the ether, got to do your thing. Nico's trying to figure out who he was. Luke's trying to figure out who he is. Reed just had to capitalize on, you know, being Reed, and Cruz just had to step over and say, I can do this. You know, like everybody's in
Cruz looked like a fucking badass.
Cruz was throwing bullets out there. He was throwing bullets. It was crazy.
That kid hooked him in the head. And
he's like, whatever.
Like, fuck this shit.
He came back at the end of the round and he goes, I think I'm going to throw up. I said, it's from getting hit in the head. I was like, do you want to win this fight? He goes, yeah. I said, then don't focus on throwing up and just hit this kid. And he was like, I got you. And he went out and he did. Yeah. But like, it's the craziest stuff, you know, but you got to find yourself in the sport. If you do it right, you'll find yourself. And when you do find yourself, never let go of it, because that's the you that's going to be successful in any endeavor you ever do. You can't allow change of venue to change you now. Because now you know, like, okay, this is the mindset for me. Like, when I'm in this place, this is when everything works. You're going to get bombarded. We all do. Every second, you're being bombarded with a new idea of how the world works.
Yeah.
No, it's really more simple than that. It's just when you figure out how to be comfortable in you, you can literally do anything, and you just got to maintain that. That's why people laugh. I mean, I'm 51 years old, and they're like, how come you don't get nervous about different stuff? And I'm like, you know, if I go into a meeting, I'm like, I could kill everybody in the room. Like, I'm not going to, but I'm like, what, you're going to say something bad? Wow,
yeah, that's what I was
got
thinking.
My leg kicked off one day. Like 20 years ago, somebody kicked me so hard I need knee surgery.
That's what
Your words aren't going to bother me.
Like professors are saying shit to me at school. I'm like
whatever,
what if I just
bro.
kicked you in the head? Like,
yeah, it's like, I mean, I hate to be like caveman about it, but it's like a superpower, because we've connected with a side of our humanity that other people don't address.
Don't even know exists. And like, cause like everybody now is like super, super soft. Like, it's like everybody's soft.
It's soft.
Like, you hurt my feelings. Oh, I stubbed my toe. But it's like what we do. It's like, oh, my shin is the size of my thigh, and I'm just going to keep kicking. So it's,
the human body and the human brain is way stronger than what people realize.
And everybody now with like this weird like culture where it's like mental health this, mental health that. It's always just excuses and looking for easy way outs. Yeah, mental health is important, but what's important is to build yourself up and make yourself stronger and not use it as like a crutch.
But you've seen it. The craziest one is in the gym. How many people stack things against them to make it so they don't try because they don't want to risk losing. And I'm like, yo, you might win.
Yeah.
Like if you actually do it, you might win. Like so do you just want to be afraid of losing so bad that you never give yourself an opportunity to win?
That's scary. That's scarier for me because I'm like hyper. I've always been like hyper aware of like the passage of time, and it's like shit. It's always slipping away. It's always slipping away. So I just got to do it now. And
you have to, and then you win some, you lose some. You lose people, you gain people, and you see it all. My father is an interesting character. So my dad's 76, 75. He'll be 76 in November. But my dad's 75, and he played football at Notre Dame. He was on a very successful team at Notre Dame. They won the first bowl game that Notre Dame ever won in their history. So that was a pretty big deal. That team, though, gets together every year at Notre Dame in August for a golf outing. So since he's 18 years old, he's known, 53, 54 players on a football team? Something like that. Yeah. He knows 50 plus guys from when he was 18 until today.
That's crazy.
Think about that.
Like, that's actually insane.
So he's seen them get jobs, get married, have kids, lose wives. He's seen half the team pass away at this point. Every year it gets smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller. So having that perspective has completely changed how he lives. Like, sometimes people are like, well, why does your dad do the thing? Like, my dad plays golf every day and he swims and he exercises. He had a quadruple bypass, and he was like, yeah, if I ever have to get that again, I don't think I will. I think I'm going to go. And people are like, well, don't you want to live? And I'm like, yo, he's seen it all through his friends. Like, he understands life from having connections with these people for so long that he could always compare and contrast in ways that a lot of us ignore. So like, when we ignore time, when we ignore age, when we're scared of looking at truth and we just keep fabricating these realities, we live in fear.
Yeah.
But when you can be free to be like, for my dad to be like, yo, so if I die tomorrow, I'm okay with it. I'm like, man, that's a pretty evolved position to be. And it's not like I'm sick of life. It's an acceptance of what life is because he's seen it in so many versions. And that's where I'm like, okay.
Are you there yet?
I don't know. But the problem is I'm 51 and I still feel young. Like, I don't feel old. So like, I'm not like something catastrophic could happen to me. Like, I don't feel like I could have an old man problem because I've been fortunate enough that I haven't. My body hurts, but all my hurts from fighting and training. And I'm like, so that hurt's understandable. Like, I don't have a heart problem. I don't have a lung problem. I don't have cancer. I didn't lose a kidney. Like, I haven't had any weird shit. I have broken bones and torn tendons and, probably have some crazy neurological issues. But like, but I always had them. I had my first knee operation at like 20, so like, I've always had these problems. So they're still remnants of my youth. And all you guys, I primarily deal with a talent pool of like 18 to 27. So I'm always with young people. I'm always in a young mindset. So I don't feel old. So the idea of death and whatever, my son and I have random conversations about it because he's crazy like me with like info. So like, yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of neutral about it right now. Like, I feel like I've had a very interesting life, but having kids is different too. My youngest son is 7. Yeah. I would love to see my kids as adults. So
that makes sense.
That's my only thing with it. I'm like, I just want to see my kids as adults. I want to see them get married and have kids. I want to be a grandfather one day. So that's the one where I'm like, okay, let's just stay around. But if I don't, it is what it is. I don't have control over, the truck that might hit me crossing the street one day. So like, I don't live in fear of the end, but I just try and live my life. Jay was a big one too. Jay passing made me really evaluate who I had around me, how I communicate with people. And I think everyone's noticed that my tolerance for bullshit is way less. I don't tolerate bullshit at all anymore.
I don't know. I feel like you're more compassionate.
But I'm not tolerant of bullshit. I'm compassionate of the struggle. If you're not struggling and you're pretending you are, I have no time for you. Like, if you're glory chasing without doing the work, we're not going to get along.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
But it's not any one person. There's a bunch of them. Like, if you're not going to listen to me on that side of it, that's hard. The hype shit is where I'm over it. I'm over the hype stuff. I'm over the lying. I'm over hype. I'm over, like, I want to be cool, so I'm going to connect myself with. I don't even care about, like, the UFC thing. it's good business to go to the UFC. And it's the aspiration that we have, but I don't define myself by it. You know, where other people are just like charging forward, literally like cut an arm off to go there. And I'm like, nah, it's good. I need to pick my kids up with these arms. Like I'm not gonna kill who I am to achieve anything that optically is like a big thing.
Yeah, that's
where the shift is.
That's where I've been. It's like the past like year or so. It's like I've been focusing on doing things because I want to do them.
Yes.
And I literally, it sounds crazy, but I only do things I want to do. I only hang out with people I want to do. Like a lot of people don't do that. And it's like
I've never understood this with social groups. I've never understood the like, I'm going to hang out with that guy because it's going to give me access to that guy kind of mentality.
Ridiculous.
But it's crazy, but I see it all the time. People that are sacrificing their identity to subscribe to like the cool kid table in their mind. And I'm like, what are you doing?
Dude, when I was at fucking Lehigh, that was like a huge part of the culture because it was like hyper competitive. It's all about networking, trying to get into like
But it's not really networking. It's fake networking.
It's fake networking where you just like pretend to be friends with these people so they could do you a favor.
Because you were trained to believe that would work out.
Yeah, everybody, like these people, they weren't bad people. It's just like, that's what everybody thought works. That was their experience
and their understanding of the time.
Yeah, and then I'm like seeing this shit. At the time, I was doing a ton of drugs. And like, I'm sober now for anybody who's wondering. But I did a lot of mushrooms and that really opened my eyes. I'm like, wait, what the fuck are you guys doing? This is so inauthentic. And that was kind of like when I left there, that was kind of the start of me trying to figure out how to authentically be me. It took a ton of trial and error, but now I'm kind of at a spot where I feel like myself and it's nice. It took the hard 4 years, but like.
The hard part is the next evolution is that, so finding out who you are is really important. But then when you get sick and tired of the level in which you're living and you want more things, like you want more money and you want a nicer car and you want a house and you want to find the girl and you want to raise a family and you want to do these things, that's when the compromising starts to come into play. Where are you going to compromise so that you can get these things? Or are you going to stay the course and are you going to get these things because you are who you are?
Yeah.
That's the next evolution and that's the hardest part.
I'm there right now with the girls because it's like, girls want you to have like this crazy emotional reaction to all these things, but like, dude, I get punched in the face 3 days a week. I don't care. Like, can we just like chill out? Like,
I can be honest with you. There was a phase where, I don't know, I think it was in my late 30s that I was like, maybe if I play other people's game, I can get more rewards. And I drifted, and that's why I fought at 40. Is because I lost myself. So I had a nice car. I have a nice house. My wife and I are fine. My son's there. Like my relationship with my wife and my kid's amazing. The gym was actually doing competitively. We're doing well. That was when Carl and I first were really starting to make waves with stuff. But then I got involved in my family business in ways that way too deep. There was shit I was doing because I was like, I'm sick of scrapping it out for money. Like I wanted to find some more security. And then in that process, I figured out that, but if I stop being who I am to get that security, it's actually not security. It's just a lead weight around my neck making me miserable. So I may have more things, but I'm not who I want to be.
That's like the concept of selling your soul.
But if you're not who you want to be, then all of a sudden you're a shitty husband. You're not the best father. Like, you're not good at anything. You're a shittier everything. And you just have things. Yeah. So then I said, fuck it. And I went back and I fought again. And, you know, it just reminded me of who I am and what I really like. And then I just reorganized my life. I mean, I did that 11 years ago now. And the difference between 51 and 41 is astronomically different. And I'm exactly where I want to be, working with people that I'm happy to work with. My life is fine. My kids are good. My wife is good. The gym is good. Like, I'm super happy. And that's why, you know, there's always people that are going to come for the title. And I'm like, have at it, man. Come at me. You can't break what we got. Like, you might take a guy here and there to go somewhere, but they weren't meant to be here anyway. Like, that's the thing. Like,
it's like the radical acceptance that you just like radical acceptance, radical trust, and just fucking go.
Exactly. And it's like, for me to see a bunch of young people going through this because I opened up a pathway for it is the cool part. So you didn't get it. I didn't know if you ever would, but you had to leave. You went to Thailand. That was great. Jay's passing is miserable and horrible and as it is.
But it left such an impact on the culture of the gym.
Oh my God.
And then
we're all better because
we're all so much better, and
I feel bad saying that though.
Like,
I feel bad saying that. I feel bad saying that I had to lose my best friend to be better. It's so crazy. But
I
like
think,
his lasting gift was us understanding life
like
that much more.
loss like really is a great teacher. And
It is.
it's like because of that everybody realized how like short the time is, like and just like we're really nice, but we're all working to be fucking murderers.
Yeah.
Like it's
perfect.
perfect.
I asked ChatGPT what is the best tagline for my gym, and it said, "You're the nicest group of people that will kick your ass." I was like, that is the funniest thing I've ever seen. But yo, I went up to your opponent from the finals because when you knocked him out, I was stoked.
I was stoked too. You know why? He didn't. I was very humble, like with everybody else. I was nice to him after, but I was kind of pissed because he didn't want to touch gloves with me in the beginning. So I was like,
he was dying too, and that was his process. But I was stoked you won, not because you beat him. I was stoked you won. But then I looked over, and he was dejected, and I ran over and I grabbed him and I said, "Hey, how many fights do you have coming into this?" He said 1 or 2. I said, "How many times do you fight this weekend?" He said, "This was my 5th fight." I said, "Okay. So how many did you win?" He goes, "I won 3 fights. This is my 2nd loss." Because he did Muay Thai. He lost his 1st round Muay Thai. And I said, "Bro, don't let this one loss ruin the 3 wins you had to get into this final. Take your silver medal and be proud. Come back and win it next year. That dude who just knocked you out, he was you last year. And now he's winning this year. Come back and make it happen again." And his coach grabbed me and was like, "You said it way better than I could have, man. I really appreciate it." And I was like, "Cool." But like, I meant it. Like, I was like, that loss will define you, good and bad. If you take it right and you understand, you have a chance. Yo, the football thing is like with the Super Bowl. Every year, they interview the losers. And you get some offensive lineman who's like, "Yeah, we're going to regroup. We'll be back next year." And that dude never sees a Super Bowl again. That was his one chance to be a Super Bowl champ. He'll never be one again. There's 30, 40 dudes on that team that will never see the Super Bowl again. Not even to lose it again. Forget about winning it again.
Yeah.
And it's like, you cannot look at these opportunities lightly. Shit, man. You could have broken, you could have kicked in a way that you'll never fight again. Or you take a punch that you can never fight again. These things, it matters how we go about it. And I'm not saying it's the winning part again. It's the how we go about it. Like, if you go out there and you literally do everything you can and you run into a killer in that last fight, and that dude's like radically that much better, and he beats you because he's better, you'll figure out how to live with that. But if you lose to someone lesser than because you got cocky or arrogant or you lost focus, that's the shit that 3 o'clock in the morning, you never forgive yourself. So, I mean, I think your first year fight, the first time at WK's, who you thought you were compared to who you actually were was the hardest thing to deal with. Because you were like, I'm just gonna kill everybody. And then you realized there was massive holes in your game. And you only had 2 techniques. You had a left hook and a low kick, But you still have them, but they're refined and they're set up properly now.
Now I have everything. Now I have a cross, a left kick, a high kick, both high kicks.
But dealing with the reality of who you were in that moment was really hard.
Yeah, it was really hard, actually.
It's tough, like the reality of who we are in those moments.
Especially in like the beginning of like fighting, before you like humble yourself and let go to the process. Like, I don't even know how to explain it. It's just, it doesn't line up. And then that is like terrible. And then it's like you either have a choice after that. It's like, do I accept that I'm not enough, or do I continue pretending that I'm enough? But so I just accepted that I wasn't enough. I'm like, all right, I got to work. So I actually suck at this thing. Let me actually work and get good at this thing. Yeah,
but the thing is, if we don't allow ourselves to suck, we're never going to get better at anything. And that's the part where I'm like, have you ever done any technical task, first time, knock it out of the park? Like, you don't know it. You don't have experience with it. Why would you expect yourself to be good at it? And the crazy one too is every once in a while you do that thing and you're really good at it first time, but the second, third, and fourth, you like eat shit. Like it's just the way it goes.
My thing, I think in the beginning with me, my thing was thinking about what other people were thinking.
Of course. I think a lot of it is just we're children when we start. I mean, I'm not a child anymore. You still are. I hate to tell you that. How old are you?
24.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not like being disrespectful either, but you're in that zone where it's like, okay, you've been raised by your family and now you're trying to figure out who you are. So the problem is with family, it's like you have to do what mom and dad want you to do to get the things that you want.
Yeah.
Like you got to keep mom and dad happy. So you're literally programmed to care about what people are going to think because that's how you get things.
Yeah,
so you have to get over that. That's when you become an adult.
That was my problem.
Fuck over it.
Because it was like caring about what they thought, like specifically, because like they worried about me a lot when I was younger and like all this shit and like.
Well, they had good reason to, by the way.
That doesn't matter. But they don't need to worry because like, and I don't like that because I'm like, what, you think I'm fucking soft? And then when they would come to my fights, it's like in the back of my head, they're like, oh my God, he's gonna get hurt. So I was like, you know what, guys, stop coming to my fucking fights. Like, and then. Yeah,
but you're misunderstanding that. But it's like this parenting thing doesn't come with an instruction manual, and we're carrying our own damage.
I was actually.
So like their care is like that's their just way of caring.
I was talking with my mom about this the other day, but I'm like, all right, I need you to chill. I need you to chill out. I understand, but I just need you to chill.
Yeah.
Like, let
me figure myself out.
Exactly.
You go figure yourself out. Don't hold me back because you got to figure your shit out. That's the hardest part as a parent is like when you, so here's the thing. You're fighting to break away to like be you, right?
Yeah.
And they're trying to find the confidence to let you go do it. Because when you go do that, bad stuff could happen. And then they're like, did I prepare him enough? Is he going to be okay? They want to bubble wrap you.
Yeah, I'm like, don't bubble wrap.
But the problem is that's every generation.
I'll keep my fucking hands up.
I know,
but
but that's parents and kids. I don't want anything. My son is 12 and dying to do a full rules kickboxing bout right now. And I'm like super excited about it. But at the same time, I'm like, do I really want to let his ears get mangled and his face get beat up and do all that? But hey, but if
Brian's really good though.
I know, but that's the hard part. Like this is the most authentic thing with him is fighting. And I'm like, I gotta let it be.
His technique, he's like really good.
But I have to like let him do his thing. And I'm like, oh, it's so hard.
I think it's harder, especially because he's your oldest and I'm the oldest out of like even all my cousins. So my parents are flying blind. And so I was kind of just figuring it out as I went. And
it's so hard to let your kids grow up. Because when they're little and you can take care of them, it can be your responsibility. It's cool. But like, that's my position I'm in. I'm in this position. I mean, Reed's only 7, Brian's only 12, but still, I mean, the crazy part is 7 years, Brian's gonna be out of the house.
That's crazy.
You know, like that's such a snap. It's just a blink and his youth is gone. And then it's like, okay, did you do the right thing? How bad did you fuck them up? You know, I know the number my parents did on me unintentionally. You know the number they did on you at this point. Like, and I say it truly unintentionally. Yeah. My parent, any of the damage I have.
Nobody's trying to fuck. Their parents aren't trying to fuck you up on purpose. It's just
and when you get over that, you stop hating them.
Yeah.
God damn it, it's so freeing. It's so fair. I was talking about that. I think I don't. The other night I said it because it's the truth. It's so crazy how we can care for people and then get mad that they don't accept the way we care for them because it's not what they want in that moment. Like, so your parents, your mom is loving you to death the way she's being, and you're like, but it's not the way I want you to.
Yes. So you know, all I want, I'm like, literally, all you guys gotta do, just believe in me 100% and leave me alone. Yeah. And then I'll come back and see you every once in a while to celebrate. And that's all I need, and then we're good.
But that's not what they need.
I know.
They need to express it differently. So the problem is, you accept that they do it that way. Hopefully they'll accept more and more the way you are as you find more success. But more than anything, you just can't hate them for being who they are.
I'm like, that was me when I was younger. I hated them a lot, but I'm like, I'm kind of chilled out now.
Yeah, but that just comes with time. And then also, I think having goals and understanding that if you're carrying that battle into this battle, you're less effective.
You are so much less effective. Like,
but you got to care about something enough to actually go into this fucking dark, horrible place where all this stuff exists and sift through it and let go. It needs to let go. I said that after sparring last night. I said to the guys, you left early.
No, I left. Yeah.
Yeah. So last night, newbies like Emilio were fighting too hard. Like Emilio.
See, I don't know that big black dude's name. Wow, we call him Matumbo.
The racist comment of the day.
But him and Emilio, that was like fucking them.
Okay, so they're
going crazy.
They're smashing each other. A lot of guys, and then it turned into a lot of people started to go like really hard. And when we started up, I said, look, you got to focus on the principles, you got to focus on the technique, and you have to focus on pushing yourself. But if you're fighting and you're chasing glory in sparring, you're not achieving what this room is supposed to be trying to achieve. Mm-hmm. And now your personal problems are now everybody in the room's problems. And like your ego issues, your lack of security, your need to prove something, like that should never be anyone else's issue.
And that shouldn't even exist in the fucking room because like
never.
That just gets in the way.
But it does because these are people that haven't been through the process long enough to understand what the process even is, because they watch too many Rocky movies and think they're going to be able to let Drago punch their skull in and come back, or you know, the harder you go, the better it is. You know, make myself throw up and break and like.
Sometimes you do need that, but like if you're training with intention, not wildly. But if you're just...
There's a push that we all need to know that we can.
Yeah.
But there's a push that you don't come back from. Mm-hmm. That's what we need to avoid. We don't want the diminishing return. I mean, shit. My Carl Roberson story is the epitome of this. Carl Roberson was a freak athlete, 250 pounds, probably like 260 when he started with me. This big monster of a guy, has his first fight. He should murder this guy. Goes out in the first round. The dude literally is like consistently one punch away from the fight being stopped. Couldn't finish it. Second round comes out. Carl stared at him because he was afraid he was going to gas because he hadn't pushed yet. He was afraid he was going to gas. So now he comes back after the second round. I literally grabbed him in the corner and I said, look, if you don't go out and finish this guy, like we're never working to each other again. That's ridiculous. He was dead. And then you did nothing. And now you actually have you are fatigued, but he's still pumped up. And now you have a real third round. This should have been done. Beats the guy. And I literally came out. I said, meet me in the gym tomorrow. I brought him in. It's the middle of summer, hot as fuck. I'm in Asbury. I have this little concrete bunker hot box. And I pull a heavy bag out, I throw it in the middle of the floor. I close the windows. This place, it's sweltering hot. It's like over 100 degrees in there. I said, jump over it 3 times and then do a squat thrust. And he goes, how many times? I said, until I say stop. And then, so he does it. He goes like 20 minutes. I say stop. He stops. He's dying. And then, like a minute, do it again. Stop. Do it again.
Did he end up finishing the guy in that fight, or no, it was the decision?
He got a decision. So, but wait, so I have him do this thing on the bag. We go for like an hour. Then I sit him down on the couch and I let him sit down. I don't say anything. And I say to him, I said, how you feeling? He goes, I'm actually pretty good. I said, you can go a lot further than you realize you can go. You got to stop quitting on yourself because you're never going to go anywhere. And up until that point, we really didn't have a relationship. We didn't talk. I kind of didn't like him. I did not care if he came back again or not. And then the next day he showed up for practice and he was coachable. And then the next day he showed up and then he was helping people. And then he wasn't killing everyone. He became like a human being in the room. And then the Carl that, you know, made it to the UFC, like evolved. But it was a process of, I had to get him to understand that he had to stop fronting and he had to start working and he had to push his limits to understand who he was. And he didn't have to break everybody. He had to start becoming a fighter, becoming an athlete, not this weird version he had in his head. But he literally had to have a bad fight. And then I had to prove to him how strong he actually was. And then he went from 260 to 185. He fought at 185 as a pro, like crazy. So, you know, we all have it. Stein, I did it with Stein. When Stein was like 14, 15, smoked too much weed and wouldn't listen to anybody, I basically kicked him in the legs until he couldn't walk, gave him a round off, made him come back and then fight more. Like, he'll tell you a dozen ways in which I had to like break him of his weird stuff. It's just, there's just a massive list of people that I've had to do it with. And most of those people, it got very far because they figured that out. The ones that never figured it out quit. But yeah, you gotta understand who you are, and then you gotta understand that there's way further for you to go. That's why, again,
there's always so much.
You were just so shocked. You were shocked. Like at the end of that tournament, you were like,
I was like, wait, why am I fine? Why can't I feel like I could have fought 4 more fights. Like,
yeah.
I'm like, all right.
You probably couldn't have, but you felt like you
I could have. I definitely.
Only if they did too.
What do you mean?
If they had the same amount of fights.
Nah.
Fresh guys would have been rough.
Nah, I could have taken fresh
I know,
fights,
that's the way you feel, but yeah, that foot was going to go at some point.
And if it went, it went.
Yeah.
I was like.
But that's the thing, like when you get into this zone, sometimes you'll bite off more than you can chew because of this zone, but now you're like hungry for the challenge. Now it becomes like, how far can I really go? Like,
Yeah.
How much can I take? How much can I give? How far can I go?
Yeah, I tapped into something. Like there was like a lock inside of me, and I just found the key, and now it's just open, and I'm like, oh shit.
Now think about this though.
It's like I see.
But if we didn't go through the personal things that we've gone through and the personal development side of this, and that got unlocked, what a problem your life could become so fast.
Oh, I know.
Because then it's drugs, it's alcohol, it's girls, it's cigarettes, everything.
Dude, I know.
Everything becomes a marathon. How far, how deep, how wide can I go?
Like it started to unlock after ISKAs because I just kept pushing myself. I was like, because I remember the first guy I fought ISKAs, I just was throwing crazy volume. I should have knocked him out. Like that was like, I was throwing way too wild. I should have been.
That was terrible. You won, but it was weird. And then your regrouping in the second was very good.
Yeah. So I should have been a knockout too, but it was like, whatever. But
I thought you finished that guy with leg kicks.
Oh no, I finished the second guy, but
the first guy you could have finished. You're just wild.
Yeah, that was annoying. That annoyed me a lot, but it showed me the cardio side and the pushing side that I could just keep going. And it's like, what the fuck? I'm not tired.
Yeah.
And it's
but
like
that endurance crosses over to bad things too.
No, I know that was my point because after ISKs, I was literally I was on a bender.
Yeah.
And then I took a fight on short notice, and then I had rhabdo, and then like when I had rhabdo, I kind of went on another bender. But
that's the whole thing where it's like,
but I understood.
You have to go through these to understand what you care about and what you don't. I mean, I was the worst. I mean, I've had legendary benders after fights. I mean, I would disappear. Like when I say disappear, like I'm here, but I'm not. Like this demon would go party. And like I was just a maniac. And then after a while, it was kind of like, yeah, I don't really want to do that anymore.
I feel that. It's like I don't want to have to work all the way back up to, I don't want to destroy everything and then have to rebuild it up.
So I only did it for like 4 or 5 days. You did it for like a month.
Yeah.
So like I was always right back to work. But yeah, but that's where people sometimes will question why I ask the questions I do of people. But it's because I understand the danger of power. When you become empowered, you can become a great person, or you become the worst person I've ever known. Mm-hmm. And it's happened. I mean, anybody who knows my history knows the bad ones. And we've seen where the power's gotten out of control and what they've done with it. And, you know, that bothers me. I've tried. I can't get through to everybody, and I know that. And, you know, it bothers me that people end up where they end up. But, you know, I'm doing the best I can to make sure that the strength that we develop together creates the longest, most prosperous future. That's the goal. So like, if you never fought again, I want you to fight. I want you to be that guy in everything else you ever do. Yeah. So like you're going to Italy now for a semester overseas, and you know, you're going to be able to focus on school. Maybe you'll find a place to train, maybe you won't. But if you take this last evolution of work and apply it to school, you're going to have an amazing time, and you'll make amazing new friends, and you'll see really cool stuff, and you'll come back better for it. Mm-hmm. Or you'll be the big swinging dick who does too much dumb shit, and you know, you'll have an okay time with some weird memories. But like, I mean, I have a feeling that you're now an architect. You're not like a splatter painter anymore. Now you're like building stuff. Like I feel like you have an intention of creating stuff that matters versus just randomness. And random is good. We need random. Random is that creative space where we figure stuff out. You're talking to an abstract painter, I get it. But it has to be in a constructive way, and it has to align with ultimately where we're trying to go.
Yeah, definitely.
And that's why sometimes you got to take a fight on no notice and give it, and you got
that for me, that I remember taking that fight on no notice. That was super important because that grounded me in what we do.
Yes.
Because it was a similar thing to when you took the fight at 40, when you felt like you were losing yourself. You were like going off the rails for a longer time. Mine was a month.
Yeah.
I recognized that I was like, shit, I'm turning into somebody who I don't like. Let me throw myself into the thing that makes me the kind of person that I do like and the kind of person I can respect. And that just was it. Even though I had rhabdo, I got knocked out, or it didn't fucking matter. Like,
no, it was an experience.
I had to do that to just bring myself back to me.
Yeah.
Because I'm not a fucking bar guy. I'm not a like drunk party guy. It's like, that's not my thing. And I was just caught up in the celebration of like the first gold medal or the second gold medal. And then it was like, whatever.
Yo, man, we like the attention.
I loved it. And I let it get to my head. And then
we're getting it from the wrong people.
Exactly.
You're getting attention from people that are trying to screw you up because they don't want you to do it again.
Exactly.
Because when you do it again, you're still shining a light on the things they're not doing with themselves.
And then
that's the sad reality.
This time around, I was just making sure to just focus on the internal rather than the external, because the external doesn't matter. I'll try and inspire people and show like a path of what can be done, but I don't care about the pats on the back or anything. I'm only doing this because this is what I want to do and this is what I like doing. And
the inspiration side gets weird. Like, you can't look at it like a freaking TikTok video. Like, inspiration has to be authentic. Like, you just have to do your thing.
No, exactly. That's like, I'm not a big talker or whatever, but like, I like to lead by example.
So true power is when you're so good at something, you're undeniable. And that's where we're trying to get to, is that the way in which we operate. When I say, and too powerful, you could get a belt or not, and you could still be the most influential person, because the quality of your reps it's something that it demands to be noticed. And that's the point. So we just want to be operating in a way that we're inspiring people to make better choices based off of the authenticity in which we make ours.
Exactly. Authenticity is everything. Because if you're just you, that gives people the confidence to be themselves too. And when everybody's themselves, everybody elevates. And it's like beautiful.
Well, and the hardest part is you've got to really suck at being you. And you've got to admit that you suck at being you.
Yeah.
And then you've got to go off into the wilderness and figure out who you are. Like, it's a real thing. That's why that's why living at home is such a hard thing. Because when you live at home too long, you don't cut the cord. You don't figure out how to take care of yourself. Like, you got to take care of yourself.
That's why Thailand. That's why I needed it, dude. Like,
yeah. That's
what like. I saved up a bunch of money from when I was working at like a construction job, and I'm like, all right, this is enough, and I'm just gonna go. No plan, no nothing. One-way plane ticket, and then just figure out. I knew I was going to come back because I told myself I was going to come back and fight at WKs the first time around, but it was like I had another option. I could have stayed there and became a Thai fighter.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's the path is always going to be weird, and it's going to be what it's going to be. But the principles that find success of the path are always the same. It's always
the same.
And the people that, I don't want to get into like too much of like time, but mass culture is never going to support the principles, because independence is not good for, consumption.
Yeah, when you were talking, you were saying about the 99 versus the 1%.
Yeah.
And that kind of stuck with me through like the whole weekend and any kind of tournament in general. It's because like, I think about it like life is generally suffering, and we all suffer no matter what. So do you want to stand at the pinnacle, or do you want to suffer with everybody else in like a happy circle jerk where you're all just fucking gross? Or do you want to stand at the top? You can have a gold medal, still be a little sad, but it's like, would you rather make excuses, or would you rather leave it all on the fucking line? And I'm just going to leave it all on the line, because
Well, that's the thing with the
pinnacle.
1% versus the 99. For clarity, if people I've never heard it said from us before, it's that you have to abandon the habits, the practices of the 99 to be the one. There's only one number one. Everybody else has lost. The one at the top probably has lost too, but they've won when it mattered and they figured out how to do that. And what that always requires, it's not magic. There's no mystery to it. It's literally towing the proper line. It's being disciplined. It's showing up early. It's staying late. It's being coachable. It's having the right people around them.
It's never
caring about those people.
Never quitting ever.
Never deviating from that path.
Exactly.
Ever. And never accepting it. Like, acceptance of quitting is what everyone else does and what everybody else supports. They wrap it in a million different quotes and posts and ideas and parties and excuses and whatever. But our failure always comes down to we are showing up not prepared, which means we didn't do enough, which means more is never the answer. Refining the work and doing more of that is the answer. So like, if everybody could be number one by just working hard, we'd all be number one then if we just put in the steps. But it's not that. It's the efficiency. It's the understanding. It's an evolution of the process. It's experience. It's a collective that's pushing forward.
It's like there's so many different things that have to just come together to make it happen. But it's just like, you just got to be present the whole time in each of those separate areas.
And it's also, but so like the pitfall, the trap. So let's call it out for MMA and kickboxing. The trap ends up being, you walk into a big room, you walk into a gym that's a pretty gym with a lot of like 33, 34-year-old guys that maybe flirted with greatness at one point that are still doing it. And everyone's like, oh, they were there and whatever. And I'm like, that's the epitome of the worst aspect of this. It's the person that's hiding from reality, doesn't want a 9-to-5, doesn't want to be a good family person. They don't want to grow up. They don't want to get older. They don't want to understand where they screwed up. They want to live off past. And then you see a bunch of guys that are like, oh, I don't have to get a 9-to-5 and I could be 35 and still be in this. And it looks good to a young, inexperienced guy. But the hard part about this is like, the more you lean into that work, the lonelier this gets. Because there's not a massive group of people that actually want to do this. They want to flirt with it. They want to be around it. They want to play with it. They want to stay local. They want to do whatever. But like the ones that want to like do the big things, man, you got to understand, you got to go against all those other people. There's a reason why they're all together and only one or two of them ever go anywhere. Because they're just trying to be comfortable in the mediocrity.
Yeah.
If you want to get beyond the mediocrity, you got to get beyond the masses and you got to focus on yourself and you got to be in a place that allows you to focus on yourself.
That's what I do.
That's why I get so many times, like I've been doing this gym 27 years and I have so much to do. I don't get out enough, but other people leave and they always come back and they say there's only one Killer B. And I'm like, there really is only one Killer B.
Yeah, dude,
I don't know anyone else that does it the way we do it.
Even when I was in Thailand, I saw the level at which we trained at. And I'm like, because this was the first gym I ever stumbled into.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize how good we actually have it here. And it's mind blowing because a lot over there, it's like, there's a couple of gyms that are really good over there, but I also trained at like 20 different gyms. So it was hard to find. And they're a country known for that. So it just kind of speaks volumes for
their way is
what
their
we actually
way.
do.
But they do Muay Thai like we do a pickup basketball game.
Yeah.
Like, hey man, you want to go in the backyard and fight a little bit? Like that's just the way they are. And they play Muay Thai.
Yeah.
It's just the way they are with it. So when you just play it like that to a certain point, well, everywhere. I mean, shit, man. Everywhere we go, everybody's kind of playing. But then you get the rarefied area that they do it seriously. And like the crazy part is, and you know me now enough to know that like, I truly don't do this for the big thing. I do it because I understand the impact it's going to have on you. So like, if you go to do something, I want you to do it to your best because a week after, I don't want you to be like, shit, I wish I did this differently. I don't want to be the guy that didn't call it out. You know what I mean? Like I got to be like, yo, you got to live with how this goes down. So let's do this right. Cause that's the hardest part of the job. It's the hardest part to get across to people the value of it, because until you're the man in the arena and you got to live with what you did in there, you don't understand what I said.
And that applies to every aspect of life. It just comes back to the thing about how finite our time is here. So you really just got to do shit to the best of your ability, and you got to do it now. Like, you can't wait.
Who showed up for boxing on Tuesday?
I wasn't here.
Nico.
For
the first time, he came in here and he boxed. And I was like, and he sits down. I said, what are you doing here? He goes, you got me. He had the craziest first fight I think I've ever seen.
Yeah.
3 rounds, slobber knocker of a mess of a fight. But he walked out of there and he was like, oh, that's why you are the way you are. That's it. I get it. Like, you don't understand the truth.
I was so mad he didn't win.
It's all good. It was fun. That was so much fun.
It was so fun.
If he didn't touch the ground,
he was so close.
If he didn't touch the ground, he would have won.
He could have finished that kid in the first.
Yeah, I know, but he was like the adrenaline and the fear and all the, like, he was crazy. He was like bloodlust in there.
I know. If he calmed down a little bit, that 2 was there.
Of course, but that takes time. You got to figure that out.
Yeah.
Like, that'll haunt him until he fights again.
Until he wins.
But the thing is, he walked out of that going, okay, I got to lose some weight. I got to get in better shape. I got to go to boxing. I got to do this. I got to do that. He thought he did enough, but he didn't know what enough was, because he didn't know what it actually was. Now he knows. So, like, that's the wake-up call. He could have said, that was my fight. That was a lot of fun. I'll take my medal. I'll go home. I'll keep training. But he was like, no, I got to get that back. Because now he knows he's capable of more.
Yeah, speaking of boxing, though, like,
thrilled about that.
The boxing here, that helps me so much.
I told you, I said, day 1 was Killer B, day 2 was B-Lab.
I was like, all right, I just got to box. And then when I just said, fuck it, I'll box, it was good.
Did you notice the difference, though, between the guys that went to the body and the guys that didn't that day?
Yeah.
That was the one. If you went boom, you never missed your left hook because you went to the body first. And that was because we boxed. A lot of these
I remember doing the stupid fucking drill. I was like, why the fuck does he make us do it? It's boom, boom, boom. And we just
body,
sit
body,
there.
head.
Yeah, body, head. It's like the last round we do in the class, and it's just the same fucking thing. I'm like, oh, I fucking hate this shit. And then that's
the winner. And that's the winner. But it's literally when it's like the unbeatable combo. Like, every time you threw it, somebody's head got snapped. Yeah. Yo, that dude in the 3rd fight, I mean, his head was getting cleaned. I mean, I was like, Papa, ooh, Jesus. Yeah. Like, he just kept eating it. He was tough. He kept eating it. But, but again, you can't do the greatest hits. You gotta you've got to put the tools in the toolbox so you have variety.
Exactly. That's what I did.
And you got to do the stuff that you don't understand.
I know.
Because you got to trust that coach knows what he's talking about. So, all right, I'm just going to do it.
That's what I did. And I just made sure I stayed on the discipline when I did that. I'll keep my hands up and just work with it and then not quit on it, even though I was like, oh, I just want to go with a Killer B, throw some fun kicks. Yeah.
But it's like, we can't always do what we want. Sometimes we break our weapons and we got to do other things.
Yep.
So you're going to Italy for a semester. Yeah. What are you doing there? What's the study?
I'm studying, so I'm an English major focusing on writing, but I'm also minoring in math and philosophy. So it's just a little bit of everything.
Yeah. So you're going to do that there?
While I'm there, I'm taking one writing class, I'm taking an art class, and then I'm taking a philosophy class, and I'm learning Italian.
All right. How do you go to school there without knowing Italian? Is it like an English-speaking school?
I have no idea, dude.
All right, man.
There was this program, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna sign up. It feels right.
It's good. You're gonna love it there because it's not here. It's different. Yeah. It's not. Florence is a beautiful city. It's a very old city. It has a very nice vibe to it. The only thing about Italy is now it's such a tourist economy.
Really?
That
it's expensive.
No, it's just that the vibe's different. The culture, like, it's a little bit more of a consumer culture now because they're selling trinkets to tourists for the majority of their economy. They're like just slam. But that dies out like by like October. It'll start to slow down, and then around Christmas it starts to pick up. So you'll get like around the Thanksgiving time, that's when you're going to see the most real Florence.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Yeah, look.
I'm gonna try and explore like all around there.
You got to go do the greatest hits. You got to go and you got to see the David and you got to go to the Basilica and you got to do all that stuff. But then you got to make friends with real people there and you got to see the reality.
I always do that. Yeah. Just sometimes, just the way I work, I just stumble around like upon the real people, and
you get to drink way better coffee than I get to drink
I don't even
here.
drink coffee.
Well, you should learn because it's so good. It's so good.
I used to do a ton of pre-workout, and I was like, it was fucking up my
pre-workout and Italian espresso are not even things you can talk about in the same conversation. What's wrong with you? You're gonna have
caffeine's caffeine.
You're gonna have good food, good coffee, interesting people. Oh my God, you're gonna come back with no lungs.
That was like the first thing I did after WKs. I was like, I got a cigarette. I was like,
you're so nuts.
And then I was like, fucking.
Rambo's gonna Rambo. Oh my God. But it's good. I'm glad you get to see the world.
Yeah.
I'm
going to train over there too. I found a gym that looked kind of decent. So
the cool part of all of this is just that where we started to where we've gotten to, it's like, this is such a beginning.
Dude, that's like, this is literally
isn't it crazy.
It's only the beginning.
Like it's such an interesting story. But it hasn't even
it hasn't even started.
Yeah, we haven't even started chapter 1. This is kind of like,
this is like the prologue.
Yeah, this is like the forward.
Yeah.
And then the greatness comes because, I mean, again, it's a long life and a lot of opportunity. But the main point is from where we started to where we are, figuring out that embracing yourself as a human being over the caricature that this sport can turn you into is what made the difference. And now you have opportunity because people are like, oh, he's gonna come back out of shape. And I'm like, I don't give a fuck what he does. Like he can go to Italy and come back 30 pounds heavier. I know in 2 months we're going to be fine because now you know what you're capable of doing because now you can grind when you need to. But you also understand that you have to experience life. So man, if you go there and you have nothing but opportunities to experience life in ways you haven't, just do it.
That's the plan.
Enjoy it.
Yeah.
Like love life, man. Go there, eat good food, talk to some Italian women.
Excited, and I was telling my parents I might bring home a wife.
Oh my God. Oof. Oof.
I hear Italians are a little crazy though.
Well, they're fiery. They're intense.
Well, I'm Greek, so it's like the Greek Italian.
But you're kind of angry, but like you're still pretty chill. I don't know. Their intensity may be too much for you. I don't know.
We'll see.
Next, go to Athens. That'll be the next one. I've
been to Greece.
But go to school there. Go to school there. I fought in Athens when I was young, and I missed my flight to come home. But it was like, I didn't miss it. So I was supposed to come home, and they overbooked my flight. And they said, do you want to stay here? And I was like, no, I want to go home. They're like, we'll put you up in a hotel, and you can stay here. They didn't have another flight for me for 2 weeks.
Oh, that must have been
They put me in a 5-star hotel for 2 weeks.
That's great.
I had $150 a day in cash to spend. They gave me $150 a day in a hotel. It's like, I don't know what I did right in life, but they gave me a vacation. I was like, okay.
Was after a fight?
Yeah. Me and 2 of my boys that fought, they took care of us, and we stayed. And I didn't have time beforehand because I was stressed out about the fight. I was like 19 years old. I'm stressed out of my gourd. So I got to fight and all this crap. I got my jaw broken too. It was awful. But I stayed and I ate and I drank and I went to the islands and I went to where the people were eating and I met all these cool people. And that's when I made the decision that this is what I was going to do with my life because I saw the world in a different way. Because I went from like the smothering atmosphere of home and college and education and all the bullshit. And then I was like, food, drinks, girls, fighting, sunsets, architecture, everything. I was like, wait a minute. And it was like, opened me up to like, it's a big world. Why am I stuck here? Mm-hmm. And that's when everything changed for me was, when those doors got open, it changed my perspective on everything. And I've never lost it. I love to travel. That's why Jalen going to Australia in October is such an amazing opportunity because hopefully for him, he gets it. Out of all the hard workers in the room, that kid deserves it. He deserves a trip more than anybody. He's the hardest damn worker in the room.
He works
He's got to celebrate.
Fucking hard.
Yeah. But that's the thing. Now we go from, I don't know, like we had to develop to a point where guys earn the opportunity through staying the course on the lessons. You're not a graduate. You're now you're into the program for real. Like you're just getting started. Mm-hmm. Jalen's really starting to see doors are starting to open for him. Luke is just so damn close for it to
his
blow
mental,
up for him.
He's got to kill the quit. He needs to find out where in his brain he makes a decision to quit.
He's just got one or two things just holding him back.
And he could be so good.
He's gonna fall into it too. You know, Spencer's in the same boat where he just shows so much potential. He's just got a couple things have to break for him. The kids are doing so good. Reed went from being scared to I never saw someone so excited to fight.
Yeah.
You know, like it's there. We all just have to.
And we have the people
it.
coming up. Yale is getting his shit back together. Isaac is really into all this stuff. Like
there's so many dudes.
Nico, Emilio.
All of
Emilio's going to fight next year. I think he's going to do good.
Yeah, Emilio.
Like he after seeing WKs, he changed up his style and his actually being light on his feet.
But again, it's experience. The experience you guys are getting, they're going, oh, if this guy can do it, I can do it.
Yeah.
If this guy can go from here to here, I can go from here to here. Oh, maybe what coach is saying actually makes sense because it's working. You know, we got to win. We went through a little bit of stretch. Guys weren't winning, but we were doing fine. We just weren't winning. We were biting off more than we could chew for the level we were at, and that's fine. Destin's going to be a problem.
Destin will be a problem.
He's going to be a problem.
He's intelligent.
He gets it.
Yeah.
He saw it, understood what he was seeing, and now he wants to execute along.
And now he's so hungry because he hasn't been able to train.
Yeah.
Like he's been sitting for 3 months they have him sitting out. I sat for 2 weeks and I was going stir crazy. So he's probably fucking he needs it.
You know, it's crazy. Last thing I'll talk about before we end this was Carl Roberson was always really good. And then he had 9 months sitting on the couch like this because of his bicep tore that it all made sense. Sometimes that like when you get hurt and you can't do it, you realize how much you love it. And how finite our existence is. That's why Jay's passing was so monumental, is because it was like the most alive human being you've ever met is gone early. And then Justice has a problem and he physically isn't able to. So like to see all these people that are such good people and they potential and opportunity and whatever, and then they can't anymore. And that's like, if you miss that and you miss the importance of that and if you miss the weight of the choices that you have to make, like, oh man, these are where the regrets are. When people say no regrets, it doesn't mean to be careless and reckless and just go do dumb shit. No regrets is not missing the opportunities and not going at the opportunities the right way. Because like you can go and jump off a bridge and say that was like
that's just stupid.
But
you gotta have the balance of just being wild, but also being focused on what you're doing.
Like when they come to you and say, "Do you want to go to Italy for 4 months?" You got to say, as exciting as that is and as scary as that is, yes, let's go. Oh, do you want to go to the World Tournament in Australia?
Hell yes.
Jalen's like, yeah, like why not? Yo, you got 6 weeks to train and you got a fight coming up. You want to do it? If we didn't think you were capable, we wouldn't ask. And that's the thing. You got to trust the room. You got to trust Killer B. You got to trust the experience. Me, Stein, even Nick Perenni, like he's been around a bit more. The guys that have been battle tested, that have been part of the 27 years, you got to trust those dudes. They're not going to do anything wrong. Because they've done it right and wrong, and they know what they like and dislike, and they don't want to punish anybody with their bad choices. They want everyone to not make them. And so that's the thing. Like, I don't want anyone to ever make the choices I made that were bad. I only want you to see the good ones.
Yeah.
I know you're going to make bad ones because that's just part of being human. But we just have to use our experience to keep creating that positive experience so that we just
keep refining
the machine, getting better. And I would say unstoppable and get into that weird shit. But honestly, I really don't give a fuck. Try and stop us. I don't really care. Let them all come at us. We're having a very good time doing it the way we do it. So let's just keep doing what we do.
Exactly.
All right, Rambo, you want to shout anything out before we go?
Shout out to my dog, Cora. I love Cora. I really miss her. She was the whole reason I've been so focused. And shout out to the gym. Shout out to everybody who's been helping and getting me to where I'm at. Shout out to all my friends at the gym. Like, that's my life. But Jalen's going to fucking kill it at Worlds. He's going to bring home the belt. And then I'm going to get that next year. So.
What's your social media handle so people can follow the Wild Man?
Oh, yeah. Follow me, Aiden Lorfink, AedanLorfink. My real name is not Rambo.
We didn't even go into the legend of Rambo.
Oh, yeah.
But no, you are definitely, certain nicknames stick. Yours is probably the deepest stick of any nickname ever. You are,
Sometimes
I don't even know your name, how to spell it half the time. I'm like, what's his name again? It's Rambo. You are Rambo.
Yeah.
You're more Rambo than Rambo is.
Sometimes I'm like, if I'm out like with like the dudes from the gym or doing something, like me and Jalen are out somewhere, like we're at the art studio the other day, and I'm like, the first time I went to the art studio and I started painting there, I was like, sup, I'm Rambo. Like, my real name's Aiden, but just call me Rambo. So
Yeah, we still got to get your red headband so you can do this.
I don't know where that is. I have that somewhere.
Yeah.
It probably was like in my, fucking,
God.
like bottom of my car in like my trunk or something.
All right, sir. You had a very good showing. I'm really happy with what we've started. And I'm
like, this
curious to see where it goes.
Me too.
So we'll see. But enjoy Italy. Get in trouble, but not too much. And just have a good time.
Hell yeah.
All right. This is Brian Wright with Rambo. And this is the Hive Podcast. We're out. Peace.
War.
No war.